What is up, guys? It's Tool Guy Y here, and today I'll be walking you through a water pump removal and replacement on a 2003 Volkswagen EuroVan. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, let's start the repair by taking off the wheel. Use a 17mm socket to loosen up and remove all the wheel studs. Keep in mind these are lug studs, so I do recommend keeping one on loosely so the wheel doesn't fall off. Once all the lug studs are off, remove the wheel and put to the side so it's out of your way. With the wheel off, we'll have way better access to the water pump. Using your triple square with the belt on, loosen up the 3 triple square bolts holding the water pump pulley to the water pump. To give us a little more room when removing the belt, I also removed this wheel well panel, which is held down by 2 Phillips screws. If you guys don't have access to a database like Protoman, Mitchell, or AllData, I do recommend writing down and drawing out the belt diagram. This will help you out immensely when putting back the belt so you don't reroute it the wrong way. Using a 16mm socket and a ratchet, relieve tension off the tensioner by pulling towards the front of the car and pulling off the belt. With the belt off, let's remove the water pump pulley. Using the same triple square we used before, take off the 3 triple square bolts holding down the pulley. Because we cracked those bolts loose earlier, they should be very easy to come off. Slide a catch pan right under the water pump so we can catch all the coolant that escapes from the engine. There will be 3 fasteners holding down the water pump to the engine block located here. Using a triple square socket, remove the 3 fasteners holding down the water pump and put those to the side. Once all those fasteners are removed, use a suitable pry bar to pry away the water pump from the engine block to drain all the coolant out. Now I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, why don't he drain from the radiator? Sometimes the radiator doesn't actually drain everything, but as a flat rate tech, I did find that this is the quickest way to drain the coolant. Plus, cleanup is a breeze with a can of brake clean. This step is optional, but I took a ratchet strap and I strapped that hose down and pulled it as far down as possible. That way when going in and out with the new water pump, it will be a lot easier. If you guys don't have this, you can use string, rope, or zip ties too. Once all the coolant is drained, remove the water pump. I always recommend cleaning off the engine block's mating surface with just a wire brush, a wire wheel on a drill, or a wire wheel on a right angle die grinder. This ensures the mating surface to be flat. Take your new water pump and pop that sucker in. It's always a good habit to mark the top of the old water pump so that you can always match up the new one. Reinstall the 3 triple square fasteners by hand first, then tighten down with a ratchet or a gun. Reinstall the water pump pulley. Once the pulley is on, resecure it down with the 3 triple square fasteners we removed earlier. I do recommend tightening down the bolts by hand first as tight as possible so we can finish it off later with the belt on. Before the belt's on, now is a good time to actually clean off all the pulleys of all coolant residue with a can of brake clean. Clean off all pulleys, just shoot it down, make sure there's no coolant residue so that it doesn't cause any belt squeals. Some of the footage actually got corrupted, so I actually don't have any footage of me putting the belt on, but the next step is to reinstall the belt. Follow the diagram you drew earlier. Sorry about that. Now that the belt's on, tighten down the water pump pulley. A little trick I learned over the years is to stick a screwdriver through the water pump pulley so it latches on to the engine block. That way you can tighten down the water pump pulley while it's locked in place so it's not moving around. Everything else should be reinstalled in reverse order. In this video I used a vacuum filler to pull out all the air and refill with coolant. If you guys don't have one of these, you guys can still refill and bleed the coolant. Remove the expansion tank cap and fill up the coolant. Start the car and run the car with the AC off until the fans turn on. Congratulations guys, you now know how to do a water pump on a 2003 Volkswagen EuroVan. If you liked or found this video informative, please support me by smashing that like button and subscribing to my channel for more how-to and tool review videos. Also check me out on Instagram at ToolGuyY where I post daily. Thank you guys again for watching and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Shoots!